Good afternoon, everyone. This is your EBSCO trainer, Shana, and we're getting ready to present your EBSCO database environment complete for Digital Maine Library. Once again, I'm Shana. I'm a senior customer training specialist with EBSCO, former teacher in New York City, working for EBSCO for a number of years, and prior to that, a number of ed tech companies. I have a background in education, live in New York, and I support our EBSCO clients in the Northeast, especially, as well as Canada. Hi, Beth. I see your message. Thanks for joining, and thank you, everyone, for joining. We do have about an hour to review the Environment Complete database. We'll explore that database. By the end of the session, you should be comfortable conducting basic and advanced searches, refining your results using our limiters and facets, and utilizing our key features, including text-to-speech, the citation and sharing tools, and My EBSCO personal accounts to organize user research. You'll also know where to locate additional help and supportive resources at our support site, which is connect.ebsco.com. There at connect.ebsco.com, you can find a ton of information. It's our knowledge base of frequently asked questions, articles, guides, as well as access to administrative resources like submitting support tickets and accessing training and promotional tools. So keep connect.ebsco.com in mind for any additional resources you need after today's training. We are recording today's session, and we'll be providing that recording to all of you. I'll be sending it off over to Beth to post on your end. So we're talking today about Environment Complete. And just to give an overview, it is the leading full-text database for environmental studies, providing hundreds of top environmental journals covering a ton of subjects. Within those subjects, you'll find over 462 active full-text non-open access journals, 407 non-open access peer-reviewed journals, over 90 active full-text peer-reviewed non-open access journals with no embargo, and 395 active full-text non-open access journals indexed in the Web of Science, or Scopus. And for those subjects that are covered in Environment Complete, the ones that you're, I'm sure, expecting to see, subjects like ecology, energy, environmental law and policy, geography, marine and freshwater science, natural resources, pollution, renewable energy, social impact, and urban planning, among others. Environment Complete as a database also strengthens your exposure to open access journals, contains a collection of over 360 global open access journals and growing. And these are treated with the highest quality subject indexing and full text linking that you have come to expect from your EBSCO resources. I have a quote over here from Lars at the DOAJ, who says that EBSCO's strong support of both open access and open source make them unique among library vendors worldwide. So we're very happy to present this database to all of you today. And in terms of some of those journals, some of those titles that you will see, you'll see popular titles like Nature and Science, Ecological Restoration, Coastal Management, as well as the Journal of Environmental Informatics, Progress in Human Geography. So just a few titles that you may be familiar with if you are a student of this subject. So we are now ready for our live demo. For any of you who have just joined, welcome. We're going to dive into the live demonstration within your EBSCOhost interface. If you have any questions, feel free to enter them in the chat or unmute yourselves to ask live. So let me exit out of this presentation. I'm going to pull up Digital Maine Library first, just to show where you can access these resources. Now, your individual libraries may have direct links, but at the library.digitalmaine.org site, you'll be able to access your EBSCO resources, including Environment Complete. As I scroll down on this landing page, you will see that Environment Complete is listed alphabetically right here, halfway down the page. Accessing that will authenticate you if you are on site. Otherwise, from offsite, as I am. It will give you a number of options. Use your location, log in with your library barcode, or provide information if there is a problem with access. But we going to just jump forward into the database once we have accessed your EBSCOhost interface. It will bring you to this landing page where you can search environment complete exclusively. So just to move things along, I've isolated all the databases that you subscribe to through EBSCO that are accessible in the EBSCOhost interface that we're viewing here. But if you come upon the interface, it will give you additional options for other databases that you have access to. Some similar databases include Greenfile. We also have, of course, Academic Search Complete. So we've selected Environment Complete to search today, which brings us to this landing page. Now I'm going to show you this classic EBSCOhost interface. This is the interface that you currently have access to for conducting research, but many of you may be aware that EBSCO is going through an overhaul of our user interfaces, and coming down the pike, you'll have access to the new EBSCOhost interface. So I'm going to spend some time in the classic version that you're viewing here, and I'm going to give you a brief preview into the new user interface so you can see how that interface looks and feels. It's very similar to this EBSCO Discovery service, which you also have access to, that is currently in the new user interface. So it may be something that you're familiar with, but we're going to start our search in what patrons currently have access to in EBSCOhost, the classic interface. So we're looking at the classic interface. You'll see that you have your search boxes at the top of the page where you can enter your keywords, and you have multiple search boxes that you can utilize to enter keywords or phrases. You can utilize the Boolean operators to and your search, or your search will expand your search to include all of the terms or keywords or phrases that you enter in these search boxes. Or if you'd like to exclude a term, you can utilize the not Boolean operator in conjunction with a keyword that you may enter. You can also qualify your research by selecting a field code. You can choose from the drop-down options. So if you're looking for a particular keyword as it relates to, or as it exists in the title of a resource or an author's name, even within the subject terms or geographic terms, you can choose a field code to qualify your search term, and then you can execute your search. In addition to conducting a search utilizing this advanced search screen, you can see that the advanced search screen is default selected for your end users. You can also pre-filter by limiting your results to full text or peer-reviewed resources by publication, title, references available. You can utilize any of these limiters and filters to refine your research. You can also change your search mode. By default, it's utilizing a Boolean phrase search, which is a proximity search. You can change that search mode to find all your search terms or any of your search terms. So there are a number of options in this advanced search screen. I'm going to enter a term here related to environmental topics. I'll type in sustainable agriculture. Notice as I start typing, some suggestions are presented. Common topics that are researched will be presented here, and we can see right at within the list, I see sustainable agriculture as a topic. So that helps your end users get to their research faster. This helps anyone who may be struggling with spelling a particular term, and also expand their or refine their search. So the suggested terms are very helpful. Selecting anything from the suggested terms will automatically execute your search, so you wouldn't need to click the search box. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a sustainable agriculture, and then we'll execute this search. Now that's going to bring us to our search results page, which lists over 68,000 results from the environmental complete database. And you'll see all of those results listed as we scroll down the page. Between the second and third results, you'll see results from video providers that are related to our terms as we entered them. You'll see some additional information for each of the resources. You'll see some publishing information, the author's information, the subject terms that are indexed for this particular search result, as well as your full text viewing options, whether it be HTML or PDF. Some search results have one or the other. In this case, you have two full text viewing options available to you. The 68,451 search results are sorted by relevance by default. You can change that relevancy ranking to sort by date newest or date oldest, by source or by author if you prefer, but the default is by relevance. Notice over to the right of each of our search results, you'll see a little magnifying glass icon that gets you to the quick view of the abstract, so you don't have to dive into the full text to get a summary of the article to see if it is a worthwhile resource for you. If in reviewing the abstract as well as the subject terms and the other bibliographic information, you also have access within this link here to view the full text options, or to add this to a temporary session folder to organize your research. Close out of that. Over to the left, you have a refine results column, which gives you the ability to refine the 68,451 search results to a more manageable search result set. It will help you refine your search by utilizing limiters and facets. As we scroll down, you can see what has already been selected by default. The Boolean phrase search mode, sustainable agriculture, is noted here, as well as the apply equivalent subjects are in effect for this particular search term. Moving down the list, we can limit our search results to full text. I'll go ahead and select full text. It's going to automatically update and bring me quickly from 68,000 down to 35,000 just by selecting the full text options. I can select to limit by references available or by peer-reviewed articles. I can also limit by the publication date. Notice that 1913 is the earliest pub date for this search result set of 35,000. The latest is for this year. I can either, if I want to limit to a more narrowly defined publication date, I can either change the date in that from field, or I can move the publication date slider to a more recent date. I'm going to see if I can get closer to 2013. Here, and it's going to automatically update. That'll bring me down to just under 22,000 search results by limiting to pub dates between 2013 and 2023. As we scroll down, we can see some facets by which we can limit our search results. We can limit by source type. So maybe I'm only interested in academic journals or magazines or books. There are additional source types. I can click the show more link and multi-select source types here. Maybe I'm interested in academic journals and magazines, and I'll go ahead and update my search results. Scrolling down, we can take a look at the subject, the source terms, or the subject terms. So the subject, the source terms are the terms as they're indexed by lexicographers, professional taxonomists for this particular database. There are also subjects that are usually author-supplied keywords that may not fall within the subject terms of thesauri. So if I wanted to look at my search term within the subject terms or the subject headings, I can select from those options. Additional facets, I can limit by publisher. If I'm interested in articles published by Springer Nature or Taylor and Francis, for instance, I can specify that. Next to each publisher, the hit counts represented are the number of articles for each of these publishers within my search results set. I can also limit by publication. If I'm interested only in articles published in the Journal of Environmental Management, for instance, I can select that publication type. I can limit by company, by language, and maybe I will limit to English resources. Even by geography. Let me go ahead and scroll down to the geography. Maybe I'm only interested in sustainability topics, sustainable agriculture rather, as it relates to the United States. So I'll go ahead and choose the United States and notice that there are 507 results within my search results set. So by selecting these limiters, these facets over on the left, I've quickly narrowed my search results from 68,000 down to 507. Let me go ahead and pause here for a second. I know I've covered a lot talking about the refined results options on the left. Notice all of the limiters and facets that I've chosen are now within my current search. I can revert back to a previous search result by clicking out of any of these limiters that I've selected. So I'm going to pause here for a second to see if there are any questions about any of these limiters or facets. Okay, so there are none. Let me now go ahead and take a look at some of these search results. So once again, 507. We can scroll down through. Actually, yeah, I will go ahead and take a look at one of these. So we can take a look at some of the resources here. Notice that if there are cited references, like for instance, in the first 3, there are cited references. If you want to view the cited references for this article, you can click the references in the cited references hyperlink. But we are going to go ahead and take a look at the viewing options. So we see this article primer on U.S. food and nutrition policy and public health, food sustainability. We can take a look at the HTML full text as well as the PDF full text options, and there are differences for each within this classic version of EBSCOhost. I'm going to start with the HTML full text. I'll go ahead and click that. That's going to bring me to the full text of the article, and that full text will be stripped of any formatting or imagery. You're just looking at the text. The benefit here is, of course, for accessibility. It strips the imagery and formatting and just delivers the text. With HTML, you do have the ability to have the text read aloud to you with the listen option at the top of the page for your HTML. You can click the play option here.
Primer on U.S. food and nutrition policy and public health. Food sustainability. Contents.
I've just muted the audio. We can adjust the volume, the reading speed with the little time icon here. You've got your play and pause and stop options as well. So that's your text to speech for HTML. I'll exit out of that. Over to the right of the article, so we can see the article as I scroll down, but if I scroll back to the top of the page, we can see a few tools available to me for this article. We have integrations with Google Drive, so if you wanted to share this article with your Google Drive or your OneDrive, you can utilize those integrations. You can add this article to a temporary session folder. Clicking that, it will change from add to remove. So we've added this article to a folder for access at a later time during my session. We have print and email options, saving options. We can access the citation tool with the cite tool over here on the right. That brings us to the different citation formats available. We have 9 formats, everything from AMA, Chicago, Harvard, MLA 9th edition, providing that citation available for us to copy and paste into our research. We also can export this information to bibliographic management software. We can create a note as well as accessing the persistent link to this article. So if we wanted to share this article with a patron or with a student or with a colleague, clicking that paperclip icon, the last icon in the tools list at the bottom of your right side of your screen, will bring you to the hyperlink for the persistent or permalink. All right, so let me go back. Actually, I can access the PDF version of this article. Right now, we're looking at the HTML. I'm going to flip over to the PDF now. Actually, let me go back to that. I meant to show one more option within the HTML. In addition to having the article read aloud with the play option here, HTML also gives you the ability to change the language into one of over 30 languages depicted here. So if you want to have the article translated into your native speaking language, if you prefer, or if you are learning a new language and you like to read the article in that new language, those languages are available right here from the drop-down list. So those are the two benefits of HTML, text-to-speech, as well as changing the language, and of course, stripping the article of any imagery and formatting for accessibility needs. So let's go ahead and take a look at that PDF version. I'll go ahead and click PDF. Now, this is going to be the same article published or visible in the way it was originally published, complete with any formatting and imagery. So it's as if you're looking at the article within the journal, which is the American Journal of Public Health. We can see the source here in the PDF option, as well as the date. So this article was published on July 1st, 2019, within the journal, American Journal of Public Health. We're now taking a look at this article. We can scroll through the article with our mouse on, or we can select the thumbnails for each page within the article. You do have all of the tools. They're in this little skinny column over here on the far right. Your Google and OneDrive integrations, printing, emailing, folder options, as well as a persistent link here. Another option for PDF. Now, PDF does not provide text-to-speech in the classic version of EBSCOhost, nor does it allow for translation. But what it does allow in this classic version is it gives you access to additional articles within this source, the American Journal of Public Health, dated July 1st, 2019. So we can see additional articles within this source. We can also choose another issue within the American Journal of Public Health by year. So if I wanted to go back or to a more recent issue, maybe volume 113, issue 10, which was published this October, that would bring me to all of the articles for the October 1st edition of the American Journal of Public Health. All right. So there we go. So that is the benefit of viewing the PDF version of this article within the classic version of EBSCOhost. I'm going to go back to the result list. I'm going to pause here to see if we have any questions or comments. And if there are none, I'm going to go ahead and click the EBSCOhost logo, or I can also click New Search to clear my search and bring me back to the landing page. Now, Digital Maine Library does provide you, by default, with access to the advanced search screen. You also have the ability to go back to a basic search page, which will eliminate the multiple or the guided style search boxes and all of these limiters that you can pre-select. I just wanted to show you that there is a basic search option for more simpler experience for maybe more novice researchers, but we assume that our librarians, our patrons, our students accessing resources at Digital Maine can manage the advanced search screen, so that's why we have set that as the default. All right, so I'm back on the landing page, the new search screen. I'd like to now take a look at conducting a search utilizing the thesaurus. We do have, when you utilize the multiple or guided style search boxes, this is a keyword search. So it's looking for your term or your phrase within the top layer of metadata. So let me demonstrate that. I'm going to type greenhouse gas mitigation. And we actually see that as a suggestion. If we just conduct a search, that's looking for my term greenhouse gas mitigation in the top layer of metadata. So where that term or that phrase appears in the authors, the subject terms, the abstract, wherever that appears in the title, that will provide or will result in a search or a hit within our search results. That's what is happening with this keyword search, okay? If you are conducting a search using the thesaurus, the thesaurus option is available in the blue bar at the top of your screen. And then you can search for a term as is indexed within our environmental complete database. All right, so now we can enter that same term. But now we're browsing the subject terms thesaurus for environment complete. Notice I haven't entered that in the search box. I'm actually browsing the thesaurus here. So you can see that we're browsing it. I've entered the term. I'll click browse. I can choose term begins with, term contains, or relevancy ranked. The default is term begins with, and I'll go ahead and click browse. And as we see, my search results are presenting greenhouse gas mitigation. So greenhouse gas mitigation is a term that is indexed within the environmental thesaurus as I typed it. So I can actually conduct a more refined search. It's not looking for greenhouse gas mitigation in the top layer of metadata. Now it's looking for greenhouse gas mitigation as is indexed by our professional indexers who are cataloging or indexing these terms within this database. Notice that this is a hyperlink. This tells you that there are some terms that are under this main term greenhouse gas mitigation. So if I were to click that, it shows you that there are actually broader terms. So pollution prevention is a broader term for greenhouse gas. Narrower terms that fall within greenhouse gas mitigation include carbon offsetting. And then there are also related terms. I can conduct a search within any of these subject terms. I can choose to search greenhouse gas mitigation. I can also choose to explode greenhouse gas mitigation. When I click the explode option, what that's going to do is it's going to include my term greenhouse gas mitigation and any narrower terms, which would be carbon offsetting. I can include that term carbon offsetting with greenhouse gas mitigation by utilizing a Boolean operator. I can or it, I can and it, and I can also exclude it by using the not Boolean operator. I'm going to or it, expand my search to include greenhouse gas mitigation. And now notice now how these subject terms have been built in my search box here at the top. So it's oring greenhouse gas mitigation or carbon offsetting. And then I can conduct my search. So ideally, this is a more refined search because it's searching these terms as they are indexed within the database. So it's not just looking at the top layer of metadata. We'll go ahead and execute our search. And that brings me to 15,504 search results. A more refined search result set, however, since we're utilizing those subject terms. Okay. Let me pause here and see if we have any questions about utilizing the thesaurus. While I await those those questions regarding the subject terms authority file, or the thesaurus, as it's also coined here, I can go ahead and still refine my results now. I can limit to full text. Maybe I'm interested in peer-reviewed. Maybe I want more recently published resources, not from 1982, but maybe from 2020, or maybe I'll do 2018. We'll go ahead and update. And we'll take a look at some additional, maybe I'm interested only in academic journals. And once again, I'm only interested in articles published in English and that are about, we'll go down to our geography. the United States. All right, so we can still utilize those options to refine a result down to just 48 titles here. All right, so I don't see any questions regarding utilizing the thesaurus or utilizing our basic or advanced search screens here. Let me talk about a few other things. We do have the ability to search for publications. All right, so I'm going to clear my search by clicking new search here. And notice at the top of our screen, we just kind of talked about the thesaurus. We also have this publications search. So right now, when we enter something in the search box, that keyword or phrase, we're doing an article level search. If we are interested in conducting a title level search, we can utilize the publications link here. I'll click publications, and it is now going to bring us to a browsing publications within Environment Complete page. I can utilize an alphabetical or type a keyword and search alphabetically by subject and description or by matching any words. Notice if I don't enter anything, it's going to start listing all the publications that make up Environment Complete alphabetically. I could utilize the A to Z listing here if I'm interested in looking for something. I can click any of the letters here to bring me to that listing. But I'm interested in entering or finding a publication that I know happens to be related to environmental topics, and that's environmental ethics. So I'm going to type it as it is. I'll click browse, and it's going to bring me to title level search results for environmental ethics. And there is that publication that I was looking for, environmental ethics. It tells me how that I have access to the bibliographic records from 1979 to the present and full text from 2013. I can access additional details about this journal by clicking environmental ethics. That brings me to the publication details for this publication with publisher information, the publisher's URL, the frequency of publication, and if it's a peer-reviewed journal. We also have access to all the issues and articles by year. Bibliographic records, remember, from down to 1979, as well as full text from 2013. So I have access to all of those issues and articles. If I'm interested, I can go to, let's see, 2020. We have 2020 issue 4 for the winter of 2020. I can hyperlink that, and that will run in or search on that publication for that issue. And there are 9 articles for environmental ethics for that particular that issue, I should say. And we're viewing all of the 10 articles here. Okay, let me go back to the previous screen. So we have the ability to view issues and articles by year on the right. We can view the publication details, and right above the publication details, we can search within this publication. So if I'm looking for a particular article within environmental ethics, I can conduct a search within this publication with the search within this publication option. So I'm going to go ahead and click search within. And notice how it's built my search for the journal title, Environmental Ethics. I can include an additional topic here. Maybe I'm looking for sustainability. And maybe I can qualify this. Maybe I'm looking for sustainability as a subject term or within the title of an article. I can choose any of these field codes, but I'll leave it blank. I'm just going to go ahead and execute a search for sustainability within environmental ethics, that journal. And we see that there are 55 articles pertaining to my search terms. We're looking at those resources as well. So that's a great way to utilize the publications option in the top left corner if you're conducting research and you want to find an article within a particular publication. It also gives you a window into all the publications that make up the Environment Complete database if you're interested. Okay. All right, so let's see. We have one more that I'll demonstrate, and I'm going to quickly go over into the new user interface and show you how the EBSCOhost interface will be changing, and we'll conduct a search there as well. There is one more option here, and that's the image authority file. We can conduct searches for images. So I'm going to go ahead and click images here. And just like with the publications and the thesaurus, we can now conduct research for images. And so maybe I'm interested in images for beach erosion. So I'm just going to type beach erosion. It's anticipating what I'm typing, so I'll just choose that from the suggested keyword. And I'll go ahead and execute my search, which brings me to 559 images related to beach erosion. Notice that I can limit my images to image type, whether it's black and white photography, chart, photographs, diagram, graphs, illustrations, and maps. There are more options, but we'll go ahead and just take a look at a few of these. Also, there are some video results from the Associated Press that may be relevant here for our image collection. If we're interested in any one of these, I'll click Sandy Beach Ecosystems, and we can see the information regarding this particular image. So the source's site is available here. This is a citable resource. And there's information here on how to cite this image if you would like to use it, as well as the permissions, the publisher permissions that are indicated on this image detail page. All right, before I close out, let me click the search history link here. It's going to show within my session, i.e., as long as I don't close this browser or shut down or log out, I can view my search history. We can see the searches that we've conducted today. There are options to view our search results, view the details, or edit our search. Notice that there is a little orange box next to each of these searches that we've conducted. These orange boxes give you the ability to create a search alert. So if you've created a very sophisticated search, maybe utilizing Boolean operators, field codes, or what have you, you can save that search and have the site email you when additional search results become available based on your search query. Doing so would require you to create or sign in to your personal MyEBSCO account. Notice here it says you need to sign in to create the search alerts, but you can set the frequency for being alerted daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, for articles published within a particular time frame. And that's what that orange box does. So I'll go ahead and cancel this out. And one more thing I'll quickly show you on. Now, that was just search history. There are search alerts for your searches. There are also the option to conduct publication alerts. So I'm going to quickly go to the publication link here. And remember, there on this list, you also see orange boxes. So if you want to be alerted to whenever, let's see, this particular journal, Acta Geochimica, becomes delivers a new issue, you can click the orange box here to create a journal alert. Okay, so whenever that journal publishes its latest issue, you can also be alerted. Once again, you would need to be signed into your personal MyEBSCO account to create that alert. All right. I think I've shown you everything in the classic version of EBSCOhost. I'm going to pause here to see if we have any questions before we move on to the new UI. And I'm just going to pause my screen for a moment while I switch to the new UI. Okay, so this is a preview of what your new EBSCOhost interface will look like when Digital Maine is ready to turn it on. As you can see, we have increased our or improved our user interface, primarily for accessibility needs. So we have reduced made the screen a little bit more friendly. There are some accessibility features that we have paid attention to. It is definitely more readable. It reduces cognitive load for accessibility needs, a much cleaner interface to work with. So I do see a few people mentioning in the chat, definitely streamlined. Yes, Beth and Elise. So I'd love to quickly show you how this works and also talk about when you're ready to convert, where you can contact our support staff to have this turned on. We are still improving the new interface, so there are some features that have yet to be released. I will say that the classic interface has a lot more in-depth features. For instance, the image authority file is something that is available in the classic version, not available yet in the new EBSCOhost interface. So I can show you our product roadmap to see what additional features will be released over time, but we can go ahead and conduct a research. So this is the page. It's going to pull your preferences from EBSCO admin into the new UI. So you as a consortium have preferred to have the multiple advanced search boxes showing. And so the new UI carries that over. So you still have your 3 search boxes with your Boolean operators and your field codes available. You can enter a keyword here, and you also have your search options up front. So if you want to limit to full text, by peer reviewed, as well as by date range, you can select those. I'm going to go ahead and enter, let's see, greenhouse gases again. And we can go ahead and execute this search. Now, what you'll notice is over to the left, you will no longer see the search box options, the filters and facets. Those are now available below your search box. So you can quickly filter by full text, by scholarly or peer reviewed. You can also do a quick filter for the past 12 months of results, past 5 years, or past 10 years. They are sorted by relevance as default, of course, but you can sort your search results by date newest or date oldest. If you want to access the full complement of all of your filtering options, there's an all filters option here. So this is one of our accessibility features now available as options for quick filters, but to expose all filters, the all filters panel will expose all of those facets for narrowing your search results or refining your search results. So I'm going to select a few full text online, and notice as I select them, they're going to be building in my active filters option above that line. I'm going to go ahead, instead of using one of the quick filters, I can also enter a custom range here if I'd like. I'd have to enter the full month, date, and year though. But I'm going to go ahead and just filter maybe within the past 5 years. We also have our source types filter. I'll go ahead and filter by academic journals. We'll once again limit by English and geography, once again, United States, and we'll click apply. All right, so notice within our search results, you will see we have 32 here. Now we're calling out peer-reviewed articles with a little starburst, or I can't think of the name for this icon here, the little orange ribbon, I should say, and identifies it as a peer-reviewed article. It also tells you the type. This is an academic journal article. You also have, instead of the full text viewing options available for HTML and PDF, you'll have a drop down when more than one full text viewing option is available. I'm not sure why that's not giving us more. Let's see here. All right, well, we'll take a look at, I wanted to show you the differences between HTML and PDF. Let me go back to my filtering options, and maybe I will exit out of academic journals and we'll apply filters that may give us more than HTML and PDF. Let's see. There we go. So let's take a look at this article, which is a peer-reviewed journal, Natural Variability. You do have full text and PDF. One of the biggest benefits, well, actually, let me get to it first. I'll go ahead and show you the online full text, which is HTML. This is now the article being presented, HTML. The tools are now available at the top of the page. You have the download for offline use if you'd like to download the article. The little world icon gives you those translation options to translate the article for HTML. You have your table of contents. This comes into play more so for books, but it does show the article's chapters, if for lack of a better word. You have the text to speech. For some reason, it doesn't want to load right now. Maybe it's going to load this time. There we go. Text to speech is now available with the headphone icon. You've got your play, fast forward, rewind options. You can control the volume, the playback speed, the scrolling. You even have the ability now to download an MP3 of the article. This is in the new version of EBSCOhost with your MP3 download option. You can also control the text highlighting with the word color choice as well as sentence color choice. I'll go ahead and click play.
Natural variability in projections of climate change impacts on fine particulate matter pollution variations in meteorology associated with climate change.
Okay, so that's your text to speech for HTML. Moving on, you can save the item. There's a little flag icon. It lets you know, though, if you save this, if you want to access it long-term, i.e. as an after today's session, you would need to log into your personal MyEBSCO account to do so. You can access the cite feature to access the 9 different citation formats available to you. This is consistent with the classic version. You can choose one and then copy that citation to your clipboard to paste into your research. You can also export your citation with the same access to bibliographic management tools. As well, moving on, you can create a subfolder to organize your research. Those subfolders are called projects. You've got a share tool, which is a little arrow, swooshy arrow that gives you access to Google Drive, Classroom, OneDrive, and that permanent link, the persistent link, is available in the paperclip icon. So the biggest improvement from classic to new is that you don't actually have to select the persistent link or the permalink from that paperclip icon. The URL in your browser is now a persistent link. That's one of the biggest wins I've seen every time we mention it. It's like a light bulb moment for the audience, and we finally have delivered the URL is now a persistent or permanent link. All right, so moving right along, you've got your, in the share icons, I forgot to mention that you can also email the article. You can put in the email send to address here and send that article to colleagues or patrons or what have you. And then there goes the print icon in the far right corner. All right, so that is the new UI. You'll notice now, instead of all of those filtering options on the left, you now have access to the My Dashboard. So we've kind of brought the My Dashboard forward. This is your MyEBSCO account. So it is an optional feature for any patron or end user who wants to save their resources long-term. Remember, we mentioned to create search alerts and journal alerts to save your resources long-term, you would need to be logged in to your MyEBSCO account. There is a little avatar to the right of the search box for the MyEBSCO account where you can sign in. I'll click that little avatar because it will show you, if you are not an existing user, it gives you the benefits for creating a MyEBSCO personal account. It allows you to create project folders to organize your research, store your downloaded ebooks, save your research long-term. And if you have access to the EBSCO mobile app, it will sync what you do in the desktop to the mobile app. And there's a link there to create an account. Once again, completely optional. If you don't create an account, for the session that you're in, you can view all of the resources that you have saved. So there goes that one article that we saved earlier. You can view all the searches you've conducted. So for today's session in our new EBSCOhost interface, we have access to our searches. Any resources we viewed these 2 articles in HTML and PDF. So those are your dashboard options. You also have access to a publication authority file, publication finder. So this is a new pub finder, similar to the publications link in the classic version. You can enter the same, if you're interested in a particular title, rather, I think it was environmental ethics I looked up. And we can conduct a search for that title, for that journal, utilizing the resources here. Okay, let's see, we do have a question here. All right, so question from Sandra. The current interface has the ability to combine search sets via the search history. How do you combine search sets in the new interface? I do not believe that that is currently available in the new interface. Let me go back to searches. And I do not see the ability to combine searches. So we'll have to take a look at our product roadmap for the new EBSCOhost. So let me go back into Classic. I'm going to go into connect.ebsco.com, which is our help site, support site. It is publicly available or publicly accessible. Anyone can come to connect.ebsco.com and enter anything in the search box here. So if you're interested in the new EBSCOhost, you can just type new EBSCOhost, click go, and notice that there are some suggestions here. But I'm going to go ahead and execute my search. And it will bring me to all of our search results. So we've got over 1,000 search results for new EBSCOhost. There are some articles and FAQs, even some videos available if you want to take a quick look at the video to learn more about it. Let's see, there is a frequently asked questions that I like to highlight. So we'll go to the new EBSCOhost frequently asked questions page. And you'll find a lot of helpful information here on the frequently asked questions page. But let me go back to our landing page for Connect, because I want to show you where you can access the platform roadmap that talks about the features and functionality that have yet to be released and that are on our roadmap. Under the news link here on this landing page, you can click the platform roadmap. You can also see the newly released features under release notes, but I'm going to go to the platform roadmap. We update our platform roadmap on a quarterly basis on the calendar year. So you can see the most recently updated platform roadmap was from August. You can click that to view the PowerPoint overview of the platform roadmap. You can also share your feedback on the new UI. We encourage everyone to provide their feedback here or any enhancement requests you may have. You can just click there to share. But I'm going to go ahead and open up the August 2023 version of the roadmap, and I'll quickly show you what that looks like. All right, so this is the August 2023 version. We can see here that we've got a table of contents that is clickable. So if we're interested in authentication updates, globalization and localization updates, accessibility updates, let's see, customizations, recommendations, search and filter enhancements. Let's click there and we'll just go here, and it shows you on our timeline from April 2023 through April 2024 where we are in terms of development on enhancements to limiters, filters, and facets. Database limiters for new UI is coming. We're working on that now through April 2024. We have some bulleted information here. So these are the resources for you to learn about enhancements that are on our our roadmap rather. It is publicly available on the support site, EBSCO Connect. All right. Any other questions? And in response to the ability to combine search sets, I can inquire with our product management team. I don't think that particularly is mentioned in the platform roadmap, but I will submit a request for our product management team to respond. So I'm just taking a note here for your question, Sandra. All right, so let's see, any other questions, guys? All right, so I think that does it for our overview. Remember, we took a look at the classic version that you currently have access to, as well as the new UI that is available whenever you are ready to turn it on. One last thing that I failed to show in the new UI, just like you can select a particular database to search within Classic, in the new UI, those databases are available right above the search box. Right now, we're searching all of the databases that you subscribe to, and I can isolate this list to Environment Complete, which is what we searched today. And that will just be searching Environment Complete. All right. Let's see, we have a comment here. Oh, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Beth. Thanks, everyone, for joining this session. This concludes it. I'll give you a few minutes back in your life. Unless you have additional questions, I'm around. Let's see. All right, it's just thank yous. And I appreciate all of you, your time and attention. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and I'll stick around for another minute or so if anyone wants to ask a question offline.